Hey everybody, it's Rob. We're back. We're going to do another Hack the Box walkthrough. This time we're doing a machine called Return. It is a Windows machine and it is rated as easy. Um, I thought the user flag was pretty easy. The root flag was a little more difficult. But overall, it wasn't too bad. And if you have taken TCM's Practical Ethical Hacking class, you'll know how to exploit this machine pretty quickly because he talks about it explicitly in one of the AD case studies. So without further ado, we'll get started here. And you can see I am connected to Hack the Box's VPN. And I do have return spun up, and here's the IP address. So as always, we ran an Nmap scan, service version detection T4 aggressive. And this machine is a domain controller, as you can tell from all of the services running on it. So we have 5985, probably going to involve WinRM at some point. But the first thing we're going to do, because most of these are typical AD domain controller ports, you don't typically see 80 though on a domain controller. You should really try to avoid running a web server on your domain controller. So the first thing that we're going to do, and it looks like it's actually a printer panel. So interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the website, and it is indeed a Hack the Box printer admin panel. So you can poke around in here, but really what we're looking for is settings. And it's pretty obvious that this printer has an LDAP connection to the domain controller. So if you have taken TCM's Practical Ethical Hacking, like I said, he talks about an instance where he was doing a pen test and he couldn't find anything. Like they weren't running IPv6, everything was buttoned up. The only thing they had was this printer that had an LDAP connection. So what he did was is he pointed the server address of he pointed basically the server address to his local machine so that when it did a query, it sent over the credentials for the account in clear text. So that's exactly what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is we're going to open a terminal. We're going to do responder. I think I got to do sudo on that. Sudo responder. And we're going to use our VPN interface. And we're going to do the typical TAC D, capital P, lowercase v. Okay. So we're going to hit enter. We're going to enter our password. Okay, now responder. You can see it's listening on the right IP address, and we're ready to rock. It should intercept any incoming requests. So my IP address is up here. So what we're simply going to do is we're going to change this server address to our IP address, 10.10.14.185. And when we click update here, it should communicate with responder and send us the credentials for this SVC TAC printer in clear text. So let's see what happens. Click update. We go back to our responder window, and there you go. As soon as I saw this printer page, I had taken the TCM class, I knew exactly what to do. So anyway, here's the return, which is, I guess, the domain name, and then the service account for the printer, and then here's the password, which more than likely would be pretty tough to crack because it's fairly complicated. So we have saved these credentials. Next thing we're going to do, obviously, is we're going to try and use WinRM, since that's available to us on typically on a domain controller, Windows Remote Management. So what we'll do is we'll kill responder here, and then we'll do a WinRM, or Evil-winrm, sorry. And I think the IP address has changed since I did this machine last. Yes. So you can see what we have here is Evil-winrm, where the host, which is the IP address of the domain controller. We're using the user account, which is the service count for the printer, and then the password, we're going to put that inside single quotes since it's got some special characters in it. So we're going to hit enter. And hopefully we get a shell. So What we can do is we can get the user flag pretty easily. So we'll just go cd c users, and I believe it's svc tac printer desktop, and then we'll do a dir. And what I'm going to do is I am going to not show you the flag because I've made a new resolution to myself that I'm going to avoid showing the flag, so that if you want to actually solve these machines, you have to find the flag yourself. Now, these are all retired machines, so they don't count towards your hacker rank at all. So I don't know what you would gain from cheating, but I'm going to just do that moving forward. I think it's probably for the best. So you can see there's the user flag. That gets us 50% of the way there. Now, this is where I struggled a tiny bit. I just couldn't figure out. Well, actually, I thought I had a pretty solid lead here. So if you do who am I, and you tack on priv, I saw that this account was a member of the backup operators. Backup had the backup privilege. So I immediately, did the old save the SAM or back up the system, transferred them to my machine. I used PyPyCats. I had the hashes. I tried to log in with the administrator account with the hash, and I got no bueno. Okay. The only thing I can figure is that maybe the local administrator account on this machine is disabled, because I had the hash. I couldn't crack it. I tried cracking it, and I tried to use crackmac exec or netexec, whichever one you use, NXC, to log in via SMB just to see if I had valid credentials, and it came back no. And then I tried WinRM. Again, no. And I had the hash. So you obviously can log in with a hash with both of those programs. So then I was like, well, now what the hell do I do? So the only thing I thought of was, let's do net user and then svc printer. And that's where I saw that they were a member of the server operators, which typically means you can manipulate services. So immediately I thought to myself, well, we could change a service, the bin path for a service, and have it execute a remote reverse shell for us. So that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to start this thing off. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cd ... into the documents directory, because I think that's where I did a lot of this stuff last time. Documents, and I know I can write there. All right. So obviously the first thing we need to do is we need to get netcat over to this machine, because it's not on here. So the easy way to do that is we come over here. We do let's see, cd user share Windows binaries, okay? And then we do HTTP. What am I doing? I'm sorry, guys. It's Friday, and it's been a long week. So we're going to do a Python web server, and now we'll try and get. Oh, we don't even need to do this. I'm a dummy. We're using WinRM, so we can just. We could probably just copy netcat.exe to the home directory. Okay, we can go to our home directory, do a dir, not dir, ls. I am just killing it today. Yes, so you can see here's the SAM in the system where I tried to use PyPyCats, and the hash.txt where I tried to crack the admin hash. That did not work. But we have netcat.exe over here. So now all we have to do, and we have to, let's see, download netcat.exe. It might be upload. Sorry. I always confuse those. So .exe. So we're uploading from my machine. There we go. So now we have netcat. So basically what I did was I just copied nc.exe to my home directory because that's the default directory that WinRM is going to use. And then I just did an upload nc.exe. It's a little confusing with Evil-winrm, the download and the upload. The upload is uploading a machine from your machine to the machine you're exploiting. The download is to download a file from the machine you're exploiting to your machine. So we have netcat on there. Now, originally what I did, I had to find a service. If you type service, I think it might be services, which is a WinRM command actually, because if I'll show you, if we do menu, you can see services. So let's try something different. Let's try sc.exe and query. No, we don't have access to do that. So what I did was I looked at the services on my computer and then I did some research to figure out which one that I might be able to exploit. And I tried a few of them, perfmon, I tried a bunch of them. They didn't work. The only one that I seemed to be able to have some success with was the volume shadow copy service, which is typically disabled by default. It's a manual, it started manually. I guess it's used on demand. And it's used to do snapshots and also enable some programs to work, interoperate with each other. So the service name is VSS. So I tried, and I'll do it. I'll show you. It's sc.exe. And then we did config, which is we're changing the config of the service, and it's VSS. We're changing the bin path. The bin path is the binary path. It's actually the program that executes when you start a service. And I think the way we did it was this. Yeah, so let me just copy this actually, because this will be a little easier. I ran it directly like this. And what I found, and you'll see, so basically what we're doing here is we're configuring the VSS service, and we need to make this the bin path. So it's bin path. Windows is pretty particular about that. So bin path equals. So we're running the service, we're configuring the VSS service to use a new bin path. And the bin path is going to be netcat.exe command, and then my IP address on 1234. Now, if I come over here and I do a netcat on 1234, what we can do is I can close this. And we can hit enter and see what happens. Should be successful. Yes, because I tested this. And this service was the first one that I came across that I was able to do it. I got access tonight on a bunch of them. So now what we need to do is we do sc.exe stop, just in case it is running. Now, this one shouldn't be running. Okay, has not been started. So now we want to start it. And when we start it, we should theoretically get a reverse shell. Okay, if we come over here, we do. We get a reverse shell. And we type who am I? And we're NT authority system. Now the problem is this. I'm going to do cd dot dot. I'm going to do cd dot dot. And we're going to go cd users. And then we're going to go dir. And then we have cd administrator. And we'll do a dir. And you'll notice it just hung. And the reason why it's hanging. Now you could do this very quickly. You could have copy and paste commands and you can get the flag pretty quick. But what's happening is if we come back over here and look at this, the service did not respond to start or control request in a timely fashion. So the way the service command works is if it fails to start, it kills the process. So our netcat process, after it times out, gets killed, which sucks. So I wanted to do this the right way. And I figured, well, Why don't we set the bin path to command.exe and have it run the command netcat? That way, when it kills the command.exe process, the netcat process should still be running. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to copy the new command in there. So we're basically doing the same thing. We're just changing the bin path, okay? So I'm going to copy this and paste it in here because it's a pretty lengthy command, paste clipboard. So all we did was, instead of using netcat directly as the executable for the bin path, we're doing command.exe and we're executing the command netcat command. So see, this process will be completely independent of this process here, the command.exe. So when the service times out and it kills this process is already independently running. It's another process completely, okay? So our shell should not crash. So we need to come back over here and we need to Control C and restart our listener. So now we have our listener listening again. We're going to come over here. We're going to update this service with the new bin path, and hopefully it succeeds. Yes. Now we're going to do sc.exe stop DSS just to be safe, and then we're going to start it. Now we should have a stable shell. All right, so now there's our shell. We type who am I, and we're NT authority system, and we can just leisurely cd, and we're going to go to users, administrator, desktop, enter. We're going to do a dir, and there's the root.txt. And I will cat this because what I'll do is I'll blur it out. So cat, or not cat, type, because this is Windows, root.txt. There's the flag. And you can see that we have successfully exploited this machine, and the shell is stable. So this was a great machine. I really liked it because I immediately knew what to do thanks to TCM security. What we did was we just took the configuration of the LDAP connection to the domain controller, and we started up Responder on our attack machine. We pointed that configuration to our attack machine. It transmitted the credentials in clear text. We connected via Evil-winrm with those credentials. We tried to abuse the SE backup privilege, but that did not work. I'm assuming that the local administrator account is probably disabled because I had the hash and I could not log in with Evil-winrm, PS exec, or in any other fashion. So what I ended up then doing was checking the user groups, saw that they were in the server operators group. Server operators can typically stop and restart services. It took me a while to figure out what service we could abuse, but the volume shadow copy service seemed to be a good candidate. We got a shell. The problem is when the service times out, the shell dies. So then we changed the bin path again to use command, which in turn would call netcat as a separate process. So that way, when the service timed out, it killed the command, but not the netcat process. So now we have a stable shell and we have the root flag. So hopefully you found this video interesting. Hopefully you learned something. If there's any links that I talked about, they will be in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, anything. Ask me requests, whatever. If you think I'm doing something stupid, I want to hear from you. So leave a comment and I'll be happy to engage with you. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.